Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. Just over the last 1 year, 46 companies have developed their SRE agents and most of them claim to replace SRE engineers. So obviously the hot topic at this point, can AI replace SRE engineers? In today's video, let's understand if AI can actually replace SRE engineers in 2026, and at the same time, let's also understand what is the roadmap or what skills do SRE engineers have to learn to become future proof in the world of AI? So we will cover both of these topics in today's video. Just make sure you watch this video till the end. You will find it very insightful. Let's get started. Let's first start with understanding if AI can actually replace SRE engineers. Now, as I told you, over the last 1 year, a lot of companies developed their SRE agents, but this became a hot topic when companies like AWS, Azure, they started developing their SRE agents. For example, AWS Frontier Agent created a lot of buzz in the market. Now let's try to understand the reality. I have explored AWS Frontier Agent. I've explored a lot of SRE agents in 2026. That is, at this point of time, they are very, very new to the market. And the major challenge for these tools, companies are very hesitant to share their production infrastructure. What is the responsibility of SRE engineers? SRE engineers takes care of incident management. That is one of their primary responsibilities. And incident management is very closely tied with the infrastructure. Just imagine there is a company called XYZ and they have hosted their entire infrastructure on AWS. And let's say they want to go with AWS AI agent, or maybe they want to go with any third party AI agent. Now, for this AI agent to process the incident management, it has to have access to two different things. One is the complete infrastructure, along with the observability, along with the IP addresses, everything related to the production infra. And second, to it to perform the incident management, it should have the corporate access as well. For example, it should have access to the Slack, because end of the day, if it has to perform the incident management, it has to create a Slack channel, it has to involve the right people in the Slack channel, and it has to work towards issue, solving the issue for the organization. Now, both of them are very risky. If you look at the infrastructure, let's say you give access to the logs, or maybe you give access to the metrics. It can clearly expose the IP address. It can clearly expose your uh, the setup. How did you set up the infrastructure? So it is easy for the hackers to get into your infra and gain access to it or gain control to it. Just in 2025 and 2026, we have seen hundreds of security issues on the agents, and specifically the companies that are building agents. So today, I don't think any company would give their SRE access, their production SRE access to the AI agents, especially third party agents. When I say third party agents, there are very, very reliable agents from the companies, but still, production infrastructure is something out of question at this moment. And the second challenge is also very valid. For example, the corporate access. If you look at the today's incident management, what SRE engineers do, they share the root cause analysis, maybe on the Confluence documents. They share the root cause analysis on the Google Workspace. To perform the incident management, they create Slack or Teams where everyone is involved. They also send emails. If you look at some of these things, if the AI agent becomes vulnerable, through the AI agent, they can get access to your corporate network. And if they get access to your corporate network, they can even get access to your data center. We have seen this supply chain attacks happening very often in 2025, 2026. So even this is very risky at this moment. So for all of these reasons, at least in 2026, I'm not seeing a lot of companies showing interest in the SRE agents. In fact, you can also see when you compare the adoption of AI SRE agents versus the adoption of AI agents for development, the adoption of AI agents for development is significantly high. So you don't have to worry about it. If you are a SRE engineer, your position is totally safe in your organization. Now let's talk about what should be a roadmap. Okay, so we discussed about 2026. Maybe down the line, that is 5 years down the line, some of the SRE agents your company might adopt, because this is a process, right? Eventually, the SRE agents would also become very, very powerful. They would also become very, very secure. So it is possible down the line, 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, organization might adopt SRE agents. How organizations have adopted cloud, AWS, Azure, etc. Now, what you have to do in that case, right? You have to prepare for your future. So there are two different paths SRE engineers can take. Typically, they have to start building this skill set right away. One, they have to focus on AI SRE tools. Now, when I say tools, it's not only about learning tools. I'll talk about it. So one path that they can take is the AI SRE path. Other path that SRE engineers can take is AIOps path. Let's talk about both of these things. Let's first talk about AI SRE path. What exactly is this? So AI SRE is basically, as SRE engineers, you would work very closely with the SRE agents. So once your organization adopts the SRE agents, you work very closely with them, and together, that is SRE agents plus SRE engineers, perform the incident management. Just like how developers today use GitHub Copilot, how developers today use Claude Code, right? Every organization has approved it because it can significantly enhance their productivity. So today, if you look at the skill that developers are learning, what is the primary skill that developers are learning? Claude. They are learning how to interact with the APIs of Anthropic, how to interact with the APIs of Claude, how to write the skills.md, or how to write the agents.md. That is what they are typically focusing on. Even organizations are encouraging developers to use AI. Down the line, this will also happen with SRE. So you have to start focusing on AI SRE tools. If you start doing it today, you will have an edge when compared to other SRE engineers. But Abhishek, what are specific AI SRE tools? There are definitely few that you have to focus on. Let me list out some of them. The first one, personally, what I liked, there is a platform called Rootly. So this is a platform which does not claim to replace SRE engineers, but what it typically claims, it claims that SRE engineers would work very closely with Rootly as a platform, and they would become better SRE engineers. Another thing which is also very, very promising is Resolve AI. These companies also got a lot of investment in the market. So investors are also believing on these companies. That's why I'm recommending them. And then Ni10, Sim.io. These are four platforms that I would encourage every SRE engineer to learn. Now you might say, but Abhishek, Ni10, it's typically workflows. Why as a SRE engineer, I should focus on Ni10? Because as a SRE engineer, in your existing workflow, you might be using PagerDuty as an SRE engineer, or you might be using some custom scripts. Integrate them with Ni10. So start building a Ni10 workflow where within Ni10, you use an AI agent. It can be Claude, it can be anything. And once there is an incident in the PagerDuty, or once there is an alert in the PagerDuty, your Ni10 workflow should kick. And this NIT agent should perform the heavy lifting even before an SRE engineer wakes up at 2 a.m. in the night. Before that, it has to create maybe a Slack channel, or maybe it has to go through the Jira tickets and summarize the issue for you. Those kind of things. Then Sim.io. Sim.io is very similar to N10, but it is completely open source. Basically, if your organization has any restrictions, they can download sim.io within their infrastructure, and they can create N8 and similar workflows. So you don't have to worry about security of your SRE agent. You don't have to worry about vulnerabilities, hackers getting into your system. This is one of the safe approaches that you can take. In fact, I made a video on sim.io as well. If you want, you can take a look at it. Now, this is the AI SRE path. In a nutshell, SRE engineers working closely with SRE agents, just like how developers today are working with Cloud Code or the Codex agent, whatever it is. Then the second path, AIOps path. We talked about AIOps a lot of times on this channel, but this is also an interesting path that SRE engineers can focus. What exactly is AIOps? I'll tell you in 2 minutes. AIOps is a space where to your existing observability stack. Definitely, as SRE engineers, you focus on observability. You might have set up Prometheus, Grafana, ELK stack. You might have set up Jaeger, OpenTelemetry. Include this with machine learning, right? Or include this with traditional AI. That is basically AIOps. Okay? AIOps does not involve Gen AI, right? The primary responsibility of AIOps with your existing observability, you integrate some machine learning models so that it can predict anomalies in your existing metrics. I'll give you a simple example. What does your observability tell you at this point? If CPU is greater than 80%, send an alert. That is what you do with the existing observability so that you are safe. Once the CPU hits 80%, you get an alert. Probably SRE engineer would react to the alert and spike the CPU, maybe add one more instance. Or you might trigger auto scaling so that this process happens automatically. This is what observability does. But what AIOps does, it looks at some patterns that you cannot see as a human. For example, in your observability stack, if there is a sudden CPU spike from 20% to 70%, this did not happen before. One fine Wednesday morning, there was a CPU spike from 20% to 70%. Your alert is configured at 80%. So your alert did not trigger. But this is a pattern that you have to know. What if tomorrow from 20%, it suddenly spikes to 100%? Your alert would trigger. But even before your alert is triggered, your instance would go down. So AIOps pitches in here. They are basically machine learning models. You can integrate AIOps platforms with your observability stack so that it can start identifying some anomalies. It can be CPU anomaly, or it can be memory anomaly, or it can be some sudden spike in the user requests. Every day you expect 1,000 user requests. Your threshold is configured at 10,000, but there is some hacker activity going on your system where from 1,000 CPU requests, 1,000 user requests, all of a sudden there were 8,000 user requests. You would not know it, but AIOps platform would know it. But Abhishek, what are these AIOps platforms? Fortunately, today, every observability platform is coming up with their AIOps solution. So you don't have to do a lot of effort here. If you're using Datadog, Datadog has AIOps solution. Just perform a proof of concept in your lower environment. It's just a plugin. You need to know how to configure the plugin. You need to know how to use the plugin. Do it on your lower environment. Show it to your management. Get it approved. Put it in your production environment. Same. If you're using Dynatrace, they have a AIOps solution. If you're using 24/7, that is the site 24/7 by Zoho, they also have an AIOps solution. Ground Cover has an AIOps solution. Grafana has an AIOps solution. Every observability platform today is coming up with their AIOps solution. So that is a good point. But if you want to keep cost effective, you can also try Spark ML model. No? Spark ML model, you can download these ML models and you have to integrate them with your observability stack to build your custom AIOps solution. It's up to you. This is a safe and easy option. But if you want to keep it cost effective, you can also go with the Spark ML model. So what I'm trying to say here, in a nutshell, in 2026, as SRE engineer, there is no significant threat to your role because SRE is a very critical activity. It would take time for these SRE agents to mature and work along with the SRE agents. So there is no obvious threat at this point of time. But down the line, if you want to keep your position safe, if you want to be as an SRE engineer, that is continue as an engineer, then you have two options. Either go for AI SRE path or go for AIOps path. I've listed down the tools that you have to focus on. I'll also try to put them in the description. If you still have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it insightful. If you found it insightful, share it with your DevOps and SRE friends. See you all in the next video. Take care.